Good evening. Welcome to Bottomline Live on Metro TV. My name is Winston Taki. Tonight we will discuss a very interesting topic that has to do with the youth and entrepreneurship. We are assessing its impact and strategies that the youth could best develop to advance socio-economic development across the country. You can join the conversation live on our Facebook page at metrotvgh.com, and also we are live on Twitter. You can also tweet at us, and we'll surely be sharing your feedback here on the show. Comments are all accepted with regards to what strategy, policy structures that the government are put in place to advance youth development, specifically entrepreneurship. What is the rate of unemployment among the youth, and what can we do as the youth front stands to discuss the benefit and also the policy that will best help them float, considering the impact of the economic situations we are in right now. We'll come back after this, and when we come back, I'm going to introduce my panelists here in the studio, and we'll go straight to the discussion. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Bottomline Live on Metro TV. My name is Winston Taki. Tonight we are going straight to a very critical topic that has to do with the youth in entrepreneurship. The conversation has always been, is Ghana ready for the entrepreneurship train, entrepreneurial train? The conversation has consistently been going on, where we had the finance minister talking about the Youth Start program, and the president has consistently been hitting on it as to whether it will transform the whole outlook of our youth going forward in order to ensure their impact is felt across the economy. Tonight, we are touching on that critical topic, and I have with me youth who are very vociferous in their field with regards to entrepreneurship and business. I'm privileged to have here in the studio William Efrifa Kunedu, who is a business analyst and also a partner with Iluna Tolitech. Welcome, William. Great. And also on my immediate left, I have Prince Asumedu, who is the SRC president of the Premier University, the University of Ghana. Welcome, Prince. Great. And on my far left as well, I have joining us Reginald Echeisu Boatin, who is the winner of the MTM Pulse Business, also joining us here in studio. Welcome, Reginald.
Thank you.
Great. So you at home, you can also join us here in the studio by sending your messages via the WhatsApp line, which will be displayed on the screens, as well as on our Facebook page, where the conversation is ongoing live. We'll assure you, we'll read your messages and your contributions with regards to what is the best approach to revive the youth, considering the high rate of unemployment that has statistically been revealed by the Ghana Statistical Service. And also, we've been feeling it across most parts of the country, where job rate, getting access to job has become a very critical challenge for most of our youth across the country because of skills requirements by specifically to most particular jobs. But let's come back to the studio and let's begin. First of all, let's go straight to Prince, who is the SRC president of the University of Ghana. Prince, how are you doing? And also, how is campus, by the way?
I'm good, and everything is under control when you come to University of Ghana. But I think before I even proceed, I have to extend my regards to the president of the Premier University. I'm referring to the Vice Chancellor, Professor Nanaba Piamfo, and her team. The Pro Vice Chancellor is Professor Gordon Awandari.
You know, she taught me during my linguistic days in uni.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Very astute woman indeed.
Exactly. And she has been in office for the past 7 to 8 months.
Great.
The kind of work, the innovative ideas that she's implementing and bringing on board is so amazing.
Right. Speaking of innovation, specifically on the youth front, what kind of innovation do you foresee that the youth are embarking on currently that you consider to be quite employable from your perspective?
I think I would even limit this into the scopes of University of Ghana. In the history of University of Ghana, student governance and student leadership, this is the very first time that the SRC is embarking on Scale Up for Job Boot Camp, which is going to train over 1,000 students with various skills in different clusters that will equip them and prepare them after school, that will change their mindset and help them to come up with something rather than writing CVs and chasing for jobs. So I think the narrative is changing. Now, students are getting to understand that we go to school to make sure we learn skills so that when we come back into the society, we wouldn't become a burden on our family and on the government at large. So the conversation on campus is quite exciting, and we believe that it will extend into other tertiary institutions and other colleagues of ours will also adapt that.
Great. I'll come back to you on that as well. Let me come to Reginald. Reginald,
Right.
you have launched yourself into the world of business. How has it been for you since then?
All right, so thank you very much, and I really appreciate this opportunity. I always say that it's always a good opportunity to talk around young people in Ghana and precisely to speak around the topic of entrepreneurship. Anytime I wake up and then I look at when I completed school, what I've been able to do, and even within this field of entrepreneurship, I'm very much elated and very much happy. And so in the field of entrepreneurship, it's not easy, but with the right tool, the right skill, and the right connections, you'll be able to make it. And so within the field of entrepreneurship, it's fine. I've been quite fine. But then I want to just dive into discussions, and I want to talk about the real issues. When you're driving from Accra Mall to 37 every evening, I don't know if you've noticed, but you see that once your car stops at the traffic light where airport is, you realize that there are so many young people that will walk to your car just to clean your screens. This tells you the alarming rate of young people that are not getting job opportunities. And this is very, very alarming because there's something that needs to be done with about it. These are people who are willing and they think they are able and they want jobs to do. They want to do something for themselves, but there are no opportunities. And they are still striving to make sure that they are able to get something better. And last year I did a research, and the research was to look at how youth unemployment what is the impact of youth unemployment on security. And it will surprise you that these young people who wake up every morning very energetic and do not have jobs to do, there are so many things that runs through their head. Some of them go through mental trauma. Some of them go through, you wake up, you are very energetic, you want to work, but there's no job opportunity. What do? Now you think of social vices. And so it is very alarming, and we need to do something about it. That is why I woke up this morning, received a call from the producers that there's a show like this, a program like this, and they want me on. I didn't say no to it.
Great.
Because this is what I love talking about.
Great.
Thank you.
You made mention of your research that has to do
Right.
with unemployment and
Right.
job security or
Right.
security as a
Right.
whole.
Right.
How will you define unemployment from your perspective, having been someone who have experienced it
Right.
and have conquered it in your own way?
So unemployment, basically, as every ordinary person will know, as somebody who is young, willing, and able to work, but there are no opportunity for you to work. So you wake up, you are strong, you have the strength to work, you have the mental willingness to work, but there are no job opportunities for you to work within. Then you are unemployed. But if you feel that the skills you have does not match the job you are having, or maybe the job you are having is underutilizing your prowess, then that is underemployment. Do you get the two differences? So yes, that is unemployment that any ordinary person knows. That is what we are talking about when you are not getting anything to do. And that rate is very alarming currently in Ghana.
Interesting. Let me bring William into the conversation. William, you have been a business analyst and you've spoken with regards to the business scope for quite some time now. What is your general assessment of the youth front as a country as of now?
Winston, I've always been saying this. You see, our foundation as Ghanaian youth has always been weak when it comes to looking for jobs or when it comes to the topic of employment. You see, as kids, we have been like it has been put in our mind that you have to go to school and find a work to do. But then the topic of entrepreneurship has just been learnt theoretically, but then there's been no practical aspects to it. So we all go to school with the notion that after school we have to get work to do. So when we come out of school and we are not getting work to do, it's like we are locked. There is nothing else to do because, right from the onset, it's like You just have to go to school, get work, go to school and get work, go to school and get work. But there is nothing like go to school, start work, and employ other people. Go to school, start something, and employ other people. It's like that has never been part of the conversation. So you see us studying entrepreneurship in social studies, and it's all about partnership, sole employment, nothing else. It's just the theoretical aspect. But then, have we thought of putting it into practice? So, like you were saying, a lot of people are unemployed. I was listening to the finance minister some time ago, and he was talking about the number of youth that are unemployed in Ghana, and I was like, if we are even talking about unemployment at this stage, then there is a problem. Because if, Winston, I can start up something that can employ 10 people, another person can start up something that can employ 10 people, and we have about 100,000 people who are unemployed, the number will be reduced drastically, because even me starting something to employ 10 people, another person, so let's say if 1/10 of the 100,000, that's like 10,000. 10,000 people have started something and are employing other 10 people, that's another 100,000. You see that the conversation about unemployment wouldn't be a topic to be discussed.
So you made mention of starting something.
Yes.
Business, we speak about climate.
Yeah.
We as a country, considering the number of unemployed youth, what economic climate will be quite conducive for such youth whom most have considered as hopeless as of now, considering the fact that there are no avenues for them to find jobs?
Yes.
What condition would necessitate or provide them the opportunity to execute their dreams or ambitions?
So I always say that there can't be entrepreneurship without innovation. And I'm happy that the government started this You Start thing. I mean, they've brought it up that they are going to start it. And if you read about this You Start thing, it's going to help people actually innovate, because it's not just going to be like you are there and then they'll bring you some 500 CDs to start something. There are criteria that you are going to follow to get that. So it will help people to think, innovate. And like I say, starting a business is not about, it's about looking at what is happening in your community. There are challenges everywhere. Little things. For example, with Illuna Toilet Tech, when COVID came, you see there are schools, everyone uses the same washrooms and things. People get infections, but the toilet seats that is used by the people are used by everybody. So it came about with this Illuna Tech toiletries, that you put this thing on the toilet seat so that you will not get straight contact with the toilet seat. And then after that, you just dispose it. You just dispose it. This is an innovative idea, and this, with such ideas, when you go to these government agencies, they would put in more money to support you. Right?
All right. Before I bring you in, Reginald, let me come to Prince. There was this conversation consistently. It has gone on year by year. I've listened to it about linkages between academia and the job market. The University of Ghana, as you made mention, you are now the student representative of the whole establishment. What have you observed considering the change of event? Whether has the paradigm shifted in that angle?
That's why I stated earlier that I like the way now the conversation is shifting from the formal education we receive in lecture halls and classrooms not being aligned with industry and the world market. Now, my brother was saying when we were growing up, all that we were taught is go to school, after school, you become a doctor, you get a job, you do this and all that. And we were even laughing at those who were going to technical schools, vocational schools, those who were going to learn apprenticeship and all that. But I've come to realize now, if you come to University of Ghana, we have some of our ladies that bread aside their studies that they are receiving. And these people are making 200 CDs, 500 CDs from one bread and all that. So why can't we do something that will align with the society we are living in, that will solve problems within the society and generate income? That's why I like the ideas the Vice Chancellor and her team is bringing on board, and the SRC too is taking that same tangent with the scale up for job bootcamp. It's going to train students with various
You are
classes.
speaking like a politician, you know.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but nonetheless, you made mention of innovation, which is quite critical. When you look at the ability of students to get funding for such projects, have you been confronted with some innovative programs where they are seeking for funding?
Oh, yes, of course. Even this one that we are starting next week, to train this over 1,000 students, we have to get in touch with Corporate Ghana, alumni of Ghana, which you are part, and we are coming to you for some support. Students present their ideas, very brilliant ideas, but something to start up, 1,500, 2,000 Ghana cedis. Prince Asumedu being the SLC president cannot provide. So I think that's where the government bringing in under the Obatampa project, the Youth Start project, I think that's where it becomes very important and necessary. And I'm pleading to them that they should channel their attention and their resources to the tertiary institutions and the secondary institutions. We have brilliant young men and women with sharp and smart ideas that if they're able to adapt and support these ones, the narrative will change when it comes to economic issues and job opportunities issues and all that within the country.
Okay. Reginald, you were trying to chip in, but
Yes.
in addition to what you want to say, I want to get your take on funding. How difficult is it to get funding currently in Ghana?
Very, very, very good question. So, yes, exactly. That is what I wanted to talk about. Every time we are preaching the good news of entrepreneurship, making it look like it is just something you just go down and then pick it up. We've heard the finance minister talk about young people or tertiary students venturing into entrepreneurship. So the ordinary tertiary student like myself, who completed just last year and is doing national service, is thinking of saving 500 cedis at the end of every month and getting 6,000 cedis at the end of a year in order to start their own business. But that is a failed reality, because you cannot think of something like that. You cannot save 500 cedis. It is not realistic. So it means that you finish your 1 year national service and you still be in debt. I mean, you cannot start your business. So a research by the University of Ghana suggested that it takes the ordinary Ghanaian over 10 years in order to start a business after tertiary. This is because funding opportunities is very difficult to get. The SRC president was talking about students not being able to access just 1,000 to 2,000 cedis to start their businesses. Just over 4 years ago, our president introduced the Ministry of Business Development. And under that ministry, there was the Student Entrepreneurship Initiative, which I was a part of when I was in school. And it will surprise you to know that we make it look so nice. We establish, we do lunch and all of those. But the people who are supposed to receive the funding and the support do not get it. My business qualified. Over 4 businesses from my school qualified. We didn't hear about it. The next thing we heard was that they've done a competition and then it was over. Meanwhile, officials from the ministry came to do the competition on campus. That is it. The Youth Start is a very brilliant policy, because when I was speaking to one of my friends, Richmond, and then I asked him, he asked me, what do I think is the way forward? I said, of course, entrepreneurship is the way. The Youth Start is a very good policy. But what happened to the National Entrepreneurship Innovative Program that was launched, the NEIP? It is still in operation. What is happening to that? It means I'm only praying that this one will not be started and then it will just be given to party folks. We know how systems and things are working here in Ghana now. You hear of it being launched so much that I was speaking to my boat driver when I was coming here. I asked him, I told him about what I was coming here to do. I told him about all of this, and then, this thing, if you not even waste his time to even go and fill forms, because he knows the end before the start.
And you have experienced it.
Yes.
So can you tell us what is the negative impact of politicization of policies that are targeted at the youth? Because we've seen the discussion where we know there are youth parliaments. I wonder what they discussed there.
Yeah.
And even out of that particular parliament, have they met with the youth front to decide whether what they've met in the parliament to discuss is in line with the demand of the current youth dispensation?
The youth parliament that he spoke about is also somebody's separate business that he's running to also satisfy his own unemployment needs, because people are made to pay dues and all of that. That's just by the way. But what I'm saying is, what do I think young people, it is happening. Winston, I submitted documents and went to the NEIP some 4 years ago with my friend. when I was in school. And the NEIP has a very brilliant scope. They are not just going to give you money, they are going to train you, coach you, and make sure that your business reaches a particular pedestal before they leave you. But it is being given to just party folks. And I like the question, what do I think the politicization of such policies is doing? It is doing nothing to the nation. It's just costing us so much money because they give it to party folks who do not have businesses or who have just paper business to present. They get the money and then they squander it. That is all. So it brings us back to a square peg and it sends us back to square one. Cost 90 work. Because at the end of the day, the party person will get the money and will only spend it. Now, the ordinary Ghanaian who is supposed to benefit for such a project will not be able to benefit from it because they have lost interest. It is being politicized. The money will not come to you. You have the brilliant business idea. You will not get it.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you're watching us from wherever you are, you can join the conversation by sending your comments or statement to the WhatsApp line on your screen. I beg you, don't call the line. Just send your WhatsApp messages, and I'll read it live on the show. When you call, trust me, we will not be able to answer you. Today is not a phone-in session; it's a WhatsApp session. So you can send it. And those watching us on Facebook, send your comment as well on that number that you see on your screens, and we are also live on Twitter at Metro TVGH, and we'll definitely be reading your messages here. The conversation is still on youth entrepreneurship. Let me come to William. William, he made mention of the challenges that confront the youth in accessing funds. You have had an idea, you've seen it go through the processes, and now it is in an execution stage where at the moment you're running the Iluna Toilet Tech. So far, how has the journey been for you, just as he made mention, in terms of funding, in terms of support, in terms of whether you've been a beneficiary of any government policy to that effect?
Oh, okay. Personally, I've not been a beneficiary of any government policy. My funding has normally come from private places and some from friends. And I think that the government fundings that are made available are not properly marketized. So people don't really know what they have to do to get access to those fundings. It was very recently that I got to know that I could have gotten a lot of funding from certain places which are government-backed. So I think that is one of the problems. And he said, politicizing these fundings. You see, normally, those funds are available, but it takes someone to know you to get those funds. It's not about who you know anymore. It takes someone to know you. So with the funding, it's a very big problem. But like I said, you see, there are ways of doing a lot of things. I'm not sure anyone will turn down a brilliant innovation idea. It's about your ability to present your idea to someone. It's about your ability to convince someone to buy into your idea. Now, if you want to be an entrepreneur and you can't even sell your idea, then you can't sell. So the ability to even get people to believe in what you are doing, believe in what you are actually going to put out there, is a plus for you as an entrepreneur. The fact that you want to sit down for people to come and support you is a big failure on your part as an entrepreneur. Because when you are entering into those entrepreneurship things, you should know that it's not going to be easy for you. It's going to be a whole back and forth thing. So if you are not ready to fight for things yourself, and you always want people to bring things to your table, you want government to place things on your table, you are not going to. And trust me, I've not heard of any big entrepreneur who succeeded on anything government, any funding from government. Unless you educate me on that, though.
Winston, then.
All right, I'll come back to you. Let me bring Prince. Prince, you are currently, like you made mention, next week there's a project you're working on.
Exactly.
What structure, like most of them have made mention of, what systems have been put in place that these students who will be enrolling into this particular program, what are some of the benefits they intend to receive? And if they even intend to receive, how long are they going to be under that particular mentoring system?
Okay, Winston, you see, my brother was talking about even how you get to know there is an opportunity somewhere. It's all about your getting access to information, right? This project that we are going to enroll starting on next week, the appropriate quarters that matters are aware of what you are doing within the premium university. So the SRC within its own structures has created an incubation hub where after training this over 1,000 students, we're going to absorb them. NEIP through USTAT under the Obatampa project of the government is aware. Ministry of Trade and Industry is aware of what you are doing. Ministry of Finance, they are also aware of what you are doing. And even the university management. So we are optimistic that the promises they've made to us, that after that they will adopt and give them a startup. The SRC tools, we have systems that we're going to track the student that will receive this mentorship and training, practical training from us, so that even after school, we'll be able to monitor and know what they are doing exactly with the training that we receive. The problem here is our mentality. Have you asked ourselves why some of our colleagues will leave school, tertiary educations here after graduation and go to abroad and just go and, be sweeping on the streets, washing plates and all that, but they cannot do those things in Ghana?
Tell me, what's your opinion on that?
Exactly. So the issue is the way we've been brought up, that the moment you finish tertiary education or you graduate from a university, you need to be in your suit, be in your tie.
Friends, I disagree.
No,
I'm
let
coming.
him
I'm
learn.
coming,
Let him
Richie.
learn.
I'm
Let
coming.
me too, please.
You get it?
Yeah.
Before I became the SRC president of the University of Ghana, I used to sell jollof on campus. Those watching me can attest to this fact. The rice that I used to start this business was rice that was given to us during Christmas when we were going home, and AGCM gave us those provisions. Like, oh, okay, a few paying students going to face difficulties in the next academic year to pay my fees. Why can't I start up something? I know how to cook very well because of my sister being a caterer. Now, I added 300 cedis to this 5-kilo rice. I started talking to people. Then I had, I think, 10 orders. On COVID came in 2020, right?
All right. Can you please project your voice?
COVID came in 2020, right? Okay, so on the 14th of February, then I started that business. So I had 10 orders. Then the following week, which was Sunday, I had 25.
So far, you are an
of it.
entrepreneur. We get that. So,
I'm coming. So before even doing all this, I used to be within this political space on campus and all that. People were like, so you don't feel shy selling jollof and going to people's room and all.
Okay.
But I was making money. You get it. So I think we need to change our mindset.
All right. So on the issue of brain drain, where people consider themselves to think opportunities outside are more viable compared to they staying in Ghana and working, would you consider that not the right approach currently, or based on your assessment, is it wrong or is it right, or conditions just don't work for them?
All right. If you are talking about conditions, let's ask this question that, okay, if you go outside, doing all this sort of work and earning around 3,000, 5,000 cedis a month, if you give you that same money in this country, are you going to clean the airport? Are you going to clean the hotel? Are you going to sweep on the street? That's a question that we have to ask ourselves. You get it? So I think, systems are not properly working in our part of our world, but the mentality.
All right. Reginald,
Sir.
is it a mental issue or
Not
just
at all.
a
You see,
structural one?
We have young people in Ghana who are very ready to work. That is to tell you that they are so much ready to work that if even this is the cleaning of bowls and they'll be paid well, they'll be ready to do it. That is simple. These people are hungry and hungry. They are hungry for jobs and they are hungry to feed their stomach. And so they'll be willing to do whatever it takes once it will be able to satisfy them at the end of the day. They just want to make ends meet. Young people are doing so many things. You cannot tell me that it is a mentality. No! The young boys that I see on the street while I was coming here, forcing to clean the driver's glass so that they can earn 50 pesos or 1 cedi. I cannot tell you that. I cannot tell you that it's because of their mentality not to work. They want to work. They want something to do. That's why they are doing that. And so if they have something sustainable to do here in Ghana, they wouldn't go and force themselves to enter into somebody's country and go and do other things. Do you understand? And,
Okay. All right. I'll come back to you, Reginald. But let me read your messages that are coming through the WhatsApp line. Interestingly, some of your contributions are superb. Let me just start with one from Mr. Muhib Dalla, the CEO of African Health GH. He says, "Good evening, Metro. I'm really happy about the topic you're discussing. Bro, now the youth don't have works and everyone trying to start a business is laughed by society. So sad for the youth so sad for the youth of this time." Let me read another one. "Hello, good evening. I am Selom Elem Agbenohevi, sorry if I didn't get it right, a student of the University of Professional Studies, Accra, talking about the problem of unemployment. I think what we can do as youth is to team up, join forces, come up with ideas or problems, and finding solutions to it. The only problem we have as youth is how to start up. You know it involves money." Another one says, "Hello, my name is Apia San Prince. The youth are really suffering because they are limited financial support. This program is superb." Malik from Accra. "Tell your guys they are big inspiration to the youth. They should keep it up. I am Daniel Contier from Adom City Estate." All right, another one from William Akwesi says, "I support the youth start policy the government has brought up, but how are they going to dispense these capitals at the end? They will give it to the party soldiers. The guy in the white shirt is making a lot of sense. And even after the business so even after the business that you have told and invested in, the government comes with taxes splashing you left and right, which makes it very difficult in the country to grow." Last message I'll take. Alex Amwa from KNUST says, "There are innovative sources of financing agribusiness. For example, contract farming, warehouse receipt system, and trade credit. The young entrepreneurs can leverage on these financing opportunities." Okay, so I'll be reading more messages on this particular development as we're discussing here in the studio. Keep sending them to the WhatsApp line on your screen. If you're watching us on Facebook, don't hesitate to send your messages as well. Let's take our first break. When we come back, we'll continue here on Bottom Line. Stay tuned. Bottomline live on Metro TV. My name is Winston Taki. You're watching us live on Facebook and also on YouTube. We're also on channel 227 here on the DSTV. Also, interestingly enough, tonight we're discussing the youth entrepreneurship agenda of the country. The conversation has been going on live here in the studio. I'm privileged to have tonight my guest, William Afrifa Konedu, who is a business analyst, and also Prince Asumedu, who is the SRC president of the Premier University, University of Ghana, and Reginald Watson, who is a winner of MTM Pulse Business Challenge, who has a business on his own and is running it currently. But the discussion also, you can also join here by sending your message via the WhatsApp line. The next area we want to touch on, you and I consistently, every election year, you hear 10,000 jobs. We are going to create 10,000 jobs, 10 billion jobs, all from both the NDC to MPP. Everyone keeps talking about job creation. The youth in studio, my question to them is, where are these jobs located? How are these jobs created? Do they have access to these jobs? What is the reality in reference to whether the job is connected to the right people who need the jobs, or just as always, it belongs to certain selected people? Let me come straight to William. William, you are a business analyst. You've been in the forefront of youth engagement for quite some time now. You've had this even before you even went to university. What's your reaction to that?
This is a very serious issue, and everyone who knows me knows my take on this. We will give you this job, we will give you this job, we will give you this job. In fact, every government comes and promises jobs, but we don't see where the jobs go. I think the last time I was here, when we were talking about the 2022 budget, and then the session that spoke about the job creation, where government was going to provide 100,000 jobs. I think I stated it here that it was never going to be possible. And it's not like I am a prophet. It's not there.
Why did you make that assertion, firstly?
Because you see, this is not the first time a government is promising jobs.
What is government supposed to promise, if not jobs?
No, you see, you can make the promise, but what is backing that promise? Like I say, you can't just come and tell us that you are going to create 100,000 jobs. How are you creating those jobs? Which people are eligible to those jobs? How do we apply for those jobs? What is the data that made you say that you are going to employ 100,000 people? How are you going to do that? You just don't come and tell us that you are going to create 100,000 jobs and then we are okay. So if I want to vie for that job, how am I going to get it?
The government, through its automotive production plan, has started a whole agenda of creating an automobile industry in Ghana. So far, one of the best in the West Sub-Saharan African region. We've seen most in Nissan and other brands coming into the country. To that effect, can't we say it's a job creation avenue for individuals in that sector?
Yes, it's a job creation avenue for individuals in that sector. But Winston, how many people are benefiting from that?
How many people do you expect to benefit from that?
In fact, when you are talking about job creation and you are talking about 100,000 people and you are creating jobs for just 200 people, 500 people, you are doing nothing. We can't applaud you for that. You are doing nothing. You can't come and give us a figure like 100,000 and then you come and tell us that you've been able to give 1,000 people jobs, so we should clap for you. No, we don't do it like that. In fact, the things that these job creation things that the government always say, not just this government, every government that comes, every successive government that comes says we will create. There is no data backing these things. Nothing.
So what should government rather focus on, invest in order to actualize that which you are projecting?
Okay, so what I'm saying is that it's good for you to create the jobs, but don't just come and tell us what are the criteria. You see, that's why I recommended the U-Start. When they brought the U-Start, when I read about it, I saw that, okay, this and this is what I have to do if I want to be a beneficiary of U-Start. Okay, so more of these things are there. But then when you come and just say that we are creating jobs for the youth, we are going to create 100,000 jobs, we are going to create 200,000 jobs without showing us the avenues from which these jobs are going to come, the eligibility process, how the student, how the youth are going to get these jobs, what do the youth need to get these jobs. You just say it like that. Most of the youth don't even know about it. Most of them don't even know about the avenues government have made possible for employment. Nobody knows about it.
We have the National Youth Agency, we have the Ghana Enterprise Agency. All these agencies are there for you to get access to them.
Winston, I bet you, if we go to the streets right now
Yeah.
and we take 10 youths, they wouldn't know about this. I bet you. You get 2 or 3 people who will know about this. The majority of people don't know. And I know the youth listening to me knows that what I'm saying is right. Most people don't know about these things that have been made available for them. And like Reginald says, the majority of people who knows are the party empowers people.
So how come they get to know and the
Okay.
majority don't get to know? You see, this project that we're embarking on in Lagos, it will blow your mind that even within that intellectual discourse, if you meet, let's say, 10 students and you ask them that, are you aware of the scale up for job boot camp and all that? Because they don't read their mails. They don't listen to Radio Universe. They don't even read messages on their WhatsApp platforms. So how would they get the opportunity to know that, the SRC is embarking on this project, that I'm not going to pay anything. I just have to avail myself and take advantage of it.
Okay.
And this is that same person who cannot even use Microsoft Suite. And that person is in final year.
So
coming back into, I'm coming. You see, sometimes we shouldn't be lashing the government, because I'm not expecting the minister or the CEO to come and tell me that these are the availabilities that government have for you. So tap into it, be proactive, and do something meaningful, and also set up something on your own.
Prince.
I'm telling you, see, there are students, even in the University of Ghana, that we don't read. That's our issue, our problem. If you meet 10 people and one person is aware there is a You Start project, and if you do this and that government is also going to do this for you, and the 9 is not aware of that, then you ask yourself, how come that one person was able to get to know there is such opportunity? And
So the challenge you are proposing is that there is a communication gap. And also looking at possibly, this is what I'm going to say, possibly the structural communication to the youth may have to be improvised in reference to targeted communication. Because
the issue is that
I get you.
The issue is that
I get
Winston,
you. Before I come to you, you have something to share. But let me say it. When you talk about marketing communication, possibly just as you made mention, that access to information is relevant in terms of what particularly is being made available.
Right.
But you being in business, how difficult is it to have access to certain information that you need to advance something that you're going to do?
Right. So, Winston, what I want to say is that currently the youth are very, very frustrated. So, if you tell them they don't read, they get more agitated and more. All right. That aside, if we are able to really talk about it, and then like the way we are constantly trumpeting the You Start, as I was telling you, when I was on my way coming here, the boat driver told me he knows about You Start, but he wouldn't waste his time. This is in quotes. He wouldn't waste his time to even think of submitting any project. And I will also do same because it has occurred to me several times through several government initiatives. They were all brilliant, very sweet. The NEIP program, I never got it. It is still in existence. The SEI program, it never happened. By the time I realized some people have gathered somewhere, they've given the money to some people already. And I am telling you a true life story. This is not like I think, I know. Do you understand what I mean? So what I'm saying is that young people deserve better. Young people in Ghana know better. And they know that if you are a government and you have very good policies for them, like creating job opportunities, they will embrace it.
Okay, hold on, gentlemen. Before I come back to you, let me take the listeners who are also participating in the conversation before we wrap up. Time is really not on our side as of now. Good evening, Metro TV and your listeners. Program really amazing. Keep it up, good guys. May Almighty Allah protect your youth from blood. From politicians. Alhaji Ayah from Tamale. God bless you, Reginald. You are talking practical and very knowledgeable in the field of the youth. But for the so-called entrepreneurs, he's sent from the... Okay, all right. Can't you see the way he's talking as if he's reading from copybook? All right. Thank you, Jimia from Botre. I am George from Kaswa. For Ghana Youth and Entrepreneurship Development to work, political willingness, 1, independent AGI committee to select qualified projects. 3, youth to form partnership. And 4, government should be prepared to finance this partnership project without political affiliation. Good evening, guys. MasterCard Foundation and West Africa, all foreign donors organizations are here to support such youth. This is from Adam Kojo. Good evening. I am Adam from Tamale. The problem we have in this country is making politicians think they are gods. Who takes every decision for us, including how to even breathe. Because of time, I can't take all your messages, but trust me, we appreciate your participation in this program. Time is not on our side. Unfortunately, also, I may not be able to take my last comment from my guest here in the studio. I'm privileged to have tonight William Afrifa Konedu, who is a business analyst with Iluna Tulitech, Prince Sumedu, who is the SRC president of the University of Ghana, and Reginald Echesu Boatin, he's a winner of MTN Post, or possibly...
Winston, you didn't do us so much good.
I know, time is on. But let me just take just 1 second of your...
Right. So I think that, yes, there are foreign funding opportunities for young people to tap into. But the government must also be up and doing.
Okay.
This time, we are not going to word them for the use that to be given to party affiliates. We are all coming for what is due the ordinary Ghanaian.
Sure.
Thank you.
Brief one.
Okay, so Winston, the truth is that the politicians or any government cannot tell you the truth, that they don't owe you any job. You get it. And the data there is very scary from Institute of Statistical and Socioeconomic Research of University of Ghana. 10% of graduates after 1 year of graduation only secure job.
Okay.
And it takes about 10 years for a large number of students to get job to do. So I'm encouraging my colleagues that we should, come up with something. And we should be very proactive, look to different avenues, and make sure that we're able to do something for ourselves and our families.
Great. Let me take one from William.
I think I would always say that as a youth, you have to take your life into your hands. You don't wait for anybody. No, in fact, let's face the truth. No one owes you anything in this world. The moment you start putting certain things in your mind, you do not blame anyone for anything. So as youth, let's take our own lives into our hands. Let's start something. The least innovation thing that comes into your mind, work on it, start it. And when you start it, like he said, people who are interested in what you are doing will support you.
Okay. The summary of the whole conversation is be charged up, be in charge, take charge, and be charged for your country, because your youth development agenda is critical for national development. Government, politicians, government agencies, private enterprises are all watching tonight. You've heard what the youth have said. What opportunities are you also creating for them to capitalize upon for national development? My name is Winston Taki, and tonight has been a critical conversation here on Bottomline. We'll come back to you the same time next week at 8 p.m. on Monday. My name is Winston Taki once again. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks for watching.